Do you want to make the world a better place? Do you want bullying to stop? Do you want to help others? Well, today's the day. Stay tuned and find out what you could do to make the world a better place. Hey, welcome back to the Hoops Family Network. You've got Amanda here with you today. If you are brand new to this channel, I want you to go down and hit that subscribe button. You're not going to want to miss this. And if you're returning, welcome back. It's nice to see you again. And make sure you comment something in my comment section. That way I can get back to your channel and show you some love as well. And we can't forget to like this video, because after you watch this, you're gonna want everybody to hear about this. So make sure you thumbs up the video. The more likes, the more YouTube will share it. And let's get started with this video. I've been telling you guys a little bit about this new series that's coming up. It's called Bullies and How They Affect Us. And we are going to go through all of the different age groups and talk about how bullying affects them. So today we are going to be talking about how bullying affects infants. And you may be thinking to yourself, how can bullies affect infants? That's where it all begins. It all begins from birth. That's right, birth. As soon as the baby is in the hospital, that's where we get our main problem. Because the hospitals are letting our infants cry, and they're trying to make them cry for no apparent reason. That's when it all begins. It starts with the babies. And you might be saying, how? Well, infants are bullied through adult interaction. So child bullying is learned through adult interaction. So if an adult isn't paying attention to you, the child is learning that that is okay. And they're going to start doing it to other people as well. So bullies are just paranoid and they act out before others could get to you first. So their mindset is, I must attack them before they have the chance to come and attack me. So some parents like to bring the same attitude into their parenting. So they're paranoid that their child is going to rule the world, which, I mean, your life should be based around your children. But they think every waking moment is going to be about them, which for the first year it should. That child is dependent on you. So you should want to give all your attention to this child. They're paranoid about being manipulated by their child. And the parent then starts getting so upset at the child for being needy, as you could say, that they start lashing out at the child. So any cries for distress, which when an infant cries, they either need fed, they want sleep, they want to be held, or they need a diaper change. So when the parent starts to ignore the signs of they either need touch, movement, conversation, or food, the parent can control that. So the parent thinks, you control me, I'm going to control you, and I'm going to withhold your food or withhold the things you want because I'm not getting taken care of. So the parent calls it a power struggle. That because whenever that baby cries, it's all about them. And it's such a shame to see that this is how parents are thinking these days. So they're thinking that the child is making them powerless, which they're a baby. They need the love and care and attention. And for you to not want to give that to your child should say something is wrong with you. So let's go back. Bullying is defined as unwanted, aggressive behavior that involves a real or perceived power imbalance, which usually bullying is seen as taking action towards another person. So usually we think of bullying as pushing people down, overpowering another person. But Webster's dictionary states it's one who habitually cruel to others who are weaker. So yes, you can have adults bullying infants because they are using their power to be independent and take care of themselves and use that to overpower the weaker, which is the infant, because the infant cannot move, cannot walk, cannot get away. So they're stuck there. And it is a shameful thing to think about, that people are acting this way. It can be a lack of omission, so lack of expected or needed action towards one who's weaker. So when that baby needs that interaction and somebody's not giving it to them, that can be considered lack of omission. They're choosing to not give them the things that they need. So a lot of parents think that infants need to be like a plant and just sit in the corner. Don't move, don't talk, don't make a sound. And that's where they're wrong. Human babies should actually still be in the womb for another 9 to 18 months to be matured, just like other animals at birth. So like when a giraffe comes out and they're already starting to walk. So technically the first year that a baby is born is called external womb care. And that's where the most necessities are needed, because they're used to being fed on the umbilical cord and they don't have anything that they need. So when they're out in the world and they're cold, they're used to being snuggled up in the womb. So they're looking for that. They're looking for food they didn't have to eat before because it was fed to them. Now all of a sudden they're hungry and they can't figure out why. So external womb care consists of hanging on or around mom or dad or any other trusted caregiver. They're just looking for that contact with somebody. They expect constant physical closeness, just being close to close, skin to skin. Movement, feeding, and communication. They just want talked to. They want to know that they exist. They need the feeding to keep them alive. They need the movement. They can't roll around by themselves until later on. So they need that help to get into the crib. They need that help to just be able to move around, get that bone muscles moving. They need help with that. That is our job to give these children. There are all ways that are going to build those cognitive development in the brain. So as soon as you help them move their fingers, move their toes, their brain's going to realize that they're going to link them up because that's been an experience that they have had. So when they're a baby and you start teaching them how to use a bottle, their brain, because you've done it repetitive, is going to keep going on and remember that that is a skill that they learn, and they're going to take that on through life. That is what building the brain does, because you're piecing parts together and giving them those experiences that they're going to have the rest of their life. If you never go and feed them, you're going to be a 3-year-old not knowing how to suck because they never had that experience. So these children are needing these experiences to develop the brain, it prepares them for their well-being and intelligence to get them through life. So especially when you're a toddler and you're being fed and you start seeing how it's done, then they're able to do that and be able to feed themselves, which gets you through your life. In domestic violence cases, the first incident of wife beating is caught, and condemn the abuse is less likely to occur. So if you're caught beating your wife, usually you don't do it again because the first time it's caught, that pattern's broken. Now, your partner is less likely to do it again. Okay, but if no one stops you, if no one stops the pattern, they are likely to keep doing it because they weren't stopped the first time. Nothing's going to correct them, and they're going to keep on doing it. So that's why a lot of cases, it doesn't stop because it's not stopped on command. So their attitudes towards babies are a lot similar. In U.S. hospitals, it is common to do things to make them cry in fear, anger, panic, pain, separate them from their mothers, poking them, suctioning their lungs, which, I mean, if they need it done, they need it done, but not suctioning their lungs just because you need to make them cry. Rubbing them really harshly, putting them into bright lights, etc. So when parents see the hospitals doing this kind of thing, they think that that's okay and they think it's normal. And that's so harsh to think about. And it ends up being imprinted onto their brain that that is okay. And that it's normal for them to cry. And it's normal to ignore the cries, and it's not. The first step to insensitive parenting is just letting them cry. It's one thing if they're crying throughout the night and you give them that little bit of time. But if they keep going and going, they need you. They feel insecure. And parents start second guessing their own compassion towards their children. And they start moving towards giving more space. And pretty soon, there's so much space that the parent never pays any attention to this crying infant. So parents are being less responsive and giving unfriendly treatment to these infants. So that includes sleep training, corporal punishment, and denial of parental physical appearance. So responsiveness is one of the most studied positive predictors of good child outcomes. So when you have a child that doesn't get any attention at home, doesn't get any attention, doesn't get any needs, they're going to lash out because they're looking for it. So when you think that, so right there, that says that to have great positive child outcomes, give them the responsiveness that they need because they're trusted. They believe in you. They know you're going to come back and care for them. So this trust is established the first months of life. So when they cry expecting you to come grab them, they may just want held. They may just need fed. They may need change. They're cold. They're wet. They're tired. They're hungry. They learn that trust from the beginning. So it's important to support this responsiveness and from the start, because then they know, they believe, they trust that you are coming back. You want to give soothing birth experiences. So, which is, I always wondered why in the movies you always see them spank a child to get them to cry. And when I had my son, they never did that. And I was like, he's not crying. I always thought that was normal for a child to come out crying. So I was stressed out because he wasn't making any noise. To find out that we want that. We want them to be peaceful. We don't want them screaming and distressed. So we also need to give them skin to skin from the start, because it'll show the bonding, the trust. You're there. You're not alone. You're in this world with us. So the problem with this is not just parents. It's the whole society. The whole society has things wrong. So just like that the society thinks it's okay to beat your wife, or it used to be okay. It used to be normal. Just like that a baby's crying is normal. Yes, babies cry, but it's for a need. So yes, a baby, you can't expect them to sit there and be quiet, but you can't expect them to just cry for hours. They need love and attention. Thinking that this is okay is what's wrong. Ignoring a baby is a sign of torture. It's one thing if you're in the car and you're waiting to get to your destination. That's okay. But you can't just expect them to just cry all night and just not give them any attention. Because that's exactly why they're crying, is because they're alone. They're scared. So, studies have shown that babies that are being carried and fed and cared for will rarely cry because they believe that when they do cry, you'll come to them. You'll defend them. You'll take care of them. They will cry for seconds. But the caregiver can figure out what they need. So usually there's cue cries. There's the cry for hungry, the cry for needing change, the cry for attention. So usually you start to figure those cues out after a little while. So an anthropologist found out that hearing a baby cry, that all adults will go and pick up the baby on impact. The wise people know that when a baby cries, they need something. That a distressful baby is not good. And as soon as signs of mistreatment, signs of distrust start forming, everything is gone. You've lost trust. You've lost, that bond. You may get it back. You may never get it back. But once the infant distrusts you and realizes that they can't depend on you, then they start thinking that. Letting a baby be distressed too long will change their brain development. So it's going to stress them out. They're going to be more worried about food and love and care than being happy, being a positive person. We want all these people to be positive people, but yet we can't be a good role model and show these people what a positive person is because we're too busy talking down and neglecting these babies. So when they come into the world and grow up, their brains are all messed up because they didn't have the love and development that they needed as infants. So, letting a baby cry too long changes their brain. It goes towards stress, making them think that they cannot do it. They cannot handle this. And it underestimates their intelligence, their social skills, and compassion. So when you're told that you can't do something, you start thinking it. You start thinking you can't do it, and you physically can't do it because you've told yourself. But I don't know if you have ever sat there and told yourself, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Usually you do it because you're picking yourself up. You're motivating yourself. But when you're parent, when you're just this tiny defenseless baby being told you can't do something, or physically just not having the attention, you start thinking that you're not good enough, that you're the problem, and it's not you. It's the way that these parents think it's okay to do this. So this is where you come in place. What can you do for the world? What can you do to stop infant bullying? Number 1, demand hospitals and medical personnel to create soothing practices and avoid distressing babies. Let's stop smacking them to get them to cry. Let's stop doing things to make them upset. The baby wants their parent. Why not keep the baby with their parent? Why rip them away? As soon as birth happens, they don't know what's going on. They don't know. They just know that they come out and they're cold, they're hungry, they just want, warm, tight space. And you're ripping them away. You're taking them to go do tests and this and that, and they're scared. They don't know what's going on. So let's create a pleasant, soothing place for these children to develop right. Number 2, let's support these parents' intuition to be compassionate and physically close to their baby all the time. It will not hurt or spoil the baby to hold them all the time. They need love and trust to be built. They need to know that when they cry, someone is there for them. We need to quit telling people that you hold your baby too much and that holding them too much will spoil them. Because I will tell you right now, my 3-year-old, he's about to be 4 in next month. He is going to be 4 in February. And I can't get him to cuddle with me. I can't get him to want to be there. He wants to be out on his own. So it's not very long that you get to hold your baby. So take advantage of it. Yes, the housework, the dishes may not get done, but you are creating a bond for that child that you are going to have for the rest of their life. So you want to make sure you are there for them. You want to give them that love and trust that they need from the beginning. Number 3, assume normal babies are quiet and happy. Crying babies are a sign of distress and that something is wrong. If a baby's crying, they usually need something. Either they need to be moved into a different place. Maybe they slid down in their seat. Maybe it's just time to move. They're ready to move from the position they're in. But a crying baby is usually meaning that they need something. So, keep that in mind. Because I know my baby was always happy. He barely cried. So I know for a fact that it's true. Number 4, babies' brains are built through experiences And we caregivers need to give the love and attention to help it grow. When you think of a flower grows from a seed. We need to give it sunlight. We need to give it water. And it takes the nutrients from the ground. So a baby, we need to give it love to help it develop and grow. We need to give it food to nurture it. We need bonding to help them know that they are doing a good job. So we need to give them all this love and attention to help them strive, to help them grow and develop. So these infants are learning to be bullies initially by the caregivers who behave empathetically to these infants. And they are empathetic to their needs. Starting with infancy. That's where we need to make the change. That's where we need to start paying attention and not letting this happen. So if parents would hold their babies more, pay attention to their needs more, you start to realize, you sit there and think, me being a mother, I used to think I'm never going to get my laundry done. I'm never going to get dishes done. I'm never going to get this floor vacuumed because all I'm doing is holding my baby. And let me tell you, 4 years later, my kid doesn't want me. He wants his toys. He wants to learn. But I got to realize that I'm doing a good thing. I'm teaching him to be independent. So, yes, you want to give them the love and care that they need so they can give it to themselves as well. They can't be a positive, dependable person if you don't teach that. You don't show them. So, all in all, you need to show these infants that you're there. They can trust you. You need to build those walls of trust because if you don't, you've done ruined it. That baby is going to never depend on you, never strive, never grow and develop. I know a person who kept their child in a baby swing all the way up until 2 or 3 years old. The child never walked because they didn't build their leg muscles. The child didn't talk because they didn't know how. They weren't verbally communicating. They had no skills. The child was kept in a room, never allowed out, didn't know what daylight was. I mean, can you imagine the child growing up, not knowing when your next meal was, not knowing any of that? So please, if you take anything from this video, it is that you can never spoil a baby. So, thank you for watching this. I know it's a sad topic, but it needs communicated because a lot of this bullying that is taking place could have been from an infant bullying session. A lot of these child bullies probably don't get the attention at home and they're acting out. In my next episode, I'm going to discuss bullying in children, bullying in school, just bullying in children in general. This video was just strictly infants. And I did not expect to find as much information as I did, because I thought it was just going to be a lot of bullying children. But no. There was so many articles about bullying infants, and I never expected to find as much as I did. So please, hold your children close. If they want to snuggle, let them snuggle, because you never know when, one, you never know when your last may be, and two, the child may need it. Think about you. You know, there are days that you may need a hug, that you need somebody to talk to, and there's nobody there for you. Think about these children that don't have anybody but their parents, and their parents are the only ones tearing them down. We need to be picking people up. We need to make positive reinforcement. We need to start showing these children the love and affection they need to grow and strive, because no child needs to be trying to figure out who loves them and who doesn't. That's the last thing children in the world need. There's so many negative things in this world already, and just when your next meal is, or when's the next time you're gonna talk to somebody again. They don't need that. So my next video is going to be bullying and how it affects children, and that will be coming out soon. And I want to thank you all for being such a positive place to discuss these kind of things, and so much positive feedback, and so many people have been waiting for me to start the series, and it needed done. So please, if you're brand new to the channel, please go down and subscribe. You don't want to miss any of my videos. Please give this a thumbs up so more people could see this, and share this out so everybody can get the knowledge that they may need. You may be helping a child just by sharing this and getting the information out there. And please comment down below so I can give you guys the love that each and every person deserves, so I could come back to your channel and love up on you. Because that's what we're about. We are about promoting positivity, so nobody should be left out. Nobody should be crying out, because we are here to give the love and support towards everybody's channel. Nobody is any better than anybody else. So please, comment, share, subscribe, like, and I will see you guys in the next video. And remember, opportunities are created. You are the creator of those opportunities. Without you going out there and exploring your dreams, it would never happen. So, you are the creator of those opportunities. Have a great and blessed day, and I'll see you in the next video.